G'day everyone, Viv here, welcome back. I hope you're all keeping well. It's time for a long overdue Grudge match. Time for a SAGA battle report. The last game we played was a long time ago. I haven't played since then. This is going to take a while, I'm sure, as I reference rules and stuff in between the little clips that you'll be watching. But the Vikings lost last time. They're coming back. We're playing scenario number 4, the challenge from the main rulebook. It's basically the warlords versus each other. It's played on a 3-foot by 4-foot board. Deployment, you'll see when we go through that in a minute. Both the warlords in the middle of the table facing up against each other, and the rest of the units within 6 inches of their deployment zone. I've got all the scenery and everything laid out. Let's get into the game. Hopefully we can get it done quickly. It's close. It's getting close to midnight here, but I thought, look, I can play games in the evening at home. I can get the battle reports done. It's hard when I'm at work to find time. But once the little one's in bed, what am I doing here? I've been playing Fallout 4. Let's start playing some miniature games. We'll start remembering these rules, and then on Thursday nights at the studio on game night, I can actually crack on and play some games. So anyway, no ramble, let's get on with the game. Here is our battlefield. This is a 4-foot by 4-foot board. The yellow strings are delineating the edge of the board because this scenario plays on a 4-foot by 3-foot board, so our nice bright yellow strings here help delineate the edges of the board. So on the side closest to you are the Irish. This is their warlord in the middle here. The Vikings have deployed on this side of the table, and he starts in the middle. The other warlord gets placed within 4 inches of him, and then deployment happens and blah blah blah. Anyway, we've done all of that. Let's go through the forces, then we'll talk about the table and roll to see who goes first. Out here on the Irish's left flank is a unit of warriors. They are the hounds, the dogs, a unit of Hearthguard with javelins, a unit of warriors with javelins, and a unit of Hearthguard with Dane axes. And then their warlord in the middle here, whilst he's armed with this stupid sword, he has a Dane axe as well. So that's the Irish on that side. 4 points for those guys. 4 points for the Vikings over here. Nothing special about these guys. They've got shields and spears, so a unit of warriors on this side, a unit of Hearthguard, they've been upgraded to the berserkers, unit of warriors with shields and spears, unit of warriors with swords and spears, that makes no difference, that's just standard sort of stuff, and a warlord in the middle here. Excuse me, so you might recall that units armed with the javelins, in this case most of the Irish can move and then throw their javelins. So hopefully we get a little bit of shooting happening with those. There's a lot of shooting abilities on the Irish battle board. Anyway, that's the two forces. The table, everywhere on the table is open ground. That isn't a scenery or a terrain piece. We've got a rocky cluster over here and a building and an elevated terrain piece. Now the biggest things that make a difference here are both of these pieces of terrain are classified as uneven ground, which is a benefit to the Irish. Because obviously they have their Sons of Dana ability, which allows them to shoot at a unit within 4 inches of that terrain piece as part of their battle board special abilities. Anyway, let's get on with the game. Let's roll. The Irish are going to be on blue dice, just like they were before. The Irish are on the white dice, just like they are before. Let's get in a little closer. We'll roll and get the game going. So here we go. Irish, Vikings. Let's see who goes first. And it's the Vikings. The Irish with the first turn. So they're starting with the 6 SAGA dice, obviously, just for those 2 for the warlord, 1 for every other unit. So let's roll these 6 dice, see what we get, and allocate these out to the battle board. So here we go. I should point out that the warlords all have 12 wounds. So both of these chaps, 12 wounds each. Game lasts for 7 turns. And whoever gets killed first loses. Whoever has the most amount of wounds remaining at the end of the 7th turn is the winner. So I've allocated out just some activations here. I got my activation pool, so we'll roll that in a second. A couple of abilities for the warlord, melee ability. So let's discard that. We'll roll 2 dice. And I was hoping for a horse, which I could allocate off to Seed of Ireland. But, oh well. That's okay, we'll stick both those into the combat pool and get on with our activations. Right, so let's get these done that I know I want to do. Okay, so I think I've done something wrong already. Okay, so let's activate these warriors. We'll get these guys across the table. They move 12 inches, so somewhere to around about there. They ignore the uneven terrain or the uneven ground that hill is, that elevated ground. So anyway, let's get those guys up there. 12, that's them done. Let's activate this unit of Hearthguard here. We'll move these guys 6 inches up here. And we'll activate this other unit of Hearthguard. Actually, I think... yeah. We'll get these guys up here. Leave that unit of warriors at the back. That's all our activation dice done. Free activation for the warlord, so let's charge him into combat, sort out our combat dice and see if we can put some wounds on that Viking in the first turn. Okay, so 5 attack dice each for both of the warlords. I'm going to use my combat pool to give me 2 more. So that gives me 7 versus his 5. Battle board abilities. We're going to use Blood of Kings, which allows me to shrug off 2 wounds instead of 1. The Vikings have no battle board abilities, which I think is a little unfair. They should get a couple of dice at the beginning of the game to allocate out to their battle board. So if things like this happen, they can do something. Maybe that's the disadvantage of not going first. So here we go. So the warlord is armed with a Dane axe, so that reduces his armor by 1, so from 5 down to 4. And so we're needing 4s to hit. And we get 3 hits on the Viking. And the Viking is hitting back, also on 4s, because his Dane axe reduces his armor by 1. So we need 4s, and he scores 3 hits. So let's roll up these 3 hits on our Irish. We're saving on 5s in melee. Doesn't save any of them, takes 3 wounds. The Viking doesn't save any of them, takes 3 wounds. Alright, good start to the game. 3 wounds apiece. Okay, so just before I allocate fatigue, it's not 3 wounds apiece, because I'm an idiot. The warlords get to shrug off the first wound that they don't save, so the Viking has taken 2. I used Blood of Kings, so I get to shrug off 2, so he's only taken 1. So 1 point of fatigue each. Vikings taken 2, Irish has taken 1. Let's get on with the Vikings first turn. Okay, Vikings turn 1. The warlord's been pushed back after losing the combat. They get 6 SAGA dice. Let's see what we can allocate these out to. That's immediately going to come in useful. Let's put them on the battle board. Okay, so he's taken 2 wounds, a couple of activations. I got my activation pool, so we'll roll these in a second. Heimdall and Ulra. So let's discard this dice and we'll roll 2 more. Brilliant. That's very nice. Let's allocate these out and do some damage. Okay, nothing amazing. We just allocated that off to the Hearthguard and popped that onto Thor. So let's set up and see what the Vikings do. I got a fairly clear idea, and then there's going to be some carnage in the middle, hopefully. Okay, let's activate these warriors here and get these guys up. 6 inches to here. We want to fight those doggies shortly. We'll activate the berserkers here. We want to get those guys up and run this glass cannon into combat. All these bloody things hanging off everywhere, things trip over everywhere. Alright, these warriors. And we might leave those where they are. Let's get these guys up. Oh, that's alright. Look, we can't avoid this terrain. Avoid getting shot at by the bloody Irish. So let's move these guys up. Here, that's all of our activations done. Obviously we've got our warlord. He's going to charge into there. It's going to generate 5 combat dice. Then we'll have a look at our battle board and see if we can cause some problems for the Irish. Okay, so there's no point going soft. We've got our 5 dice aside there at the moment. Our battle board abilities. I'm going to discard this Heimdall. That gives me 3 more attack dice. It does reduce my armor by 1, but that's okay. So it's been reduced by 2. 1 because of this, and 1 because of his Dane axe. I'll discard this for Ulra, so any hits I get to reroll, and then Thor, after the combat, will have another go. So all out, all in. There's no battle board abilities for the Irish. My fatigue I will use to increase my armor to counteract that Heimdall. So my armor has gone from 4 back to 5. He will use his to increase his up to 5 as well. So it's 4 at the moment because of his Danax, so 5 aside. So I'm hitting on 5s. 1 hit, I get to re-roll the misses. And we get another one over here, there's 6 hits, so 4 hits altogether. So 4 hits on the Irish, and the Irish hitting on 5s. They score 2 hits on the Vikings, so let's roll those up, saving on 5s. Saves 1 of them, gets to ignore the first one he doesn't save, doesn't take any wounds. The Irish took 4 wounds, saving on 5s. Woohoo! Saves 2 of them, gets to ignore the first one, takes 1 wound. So it's 2 wounds apiece. So Irish second turn, 2 wounds apiece, he's been pushed back. There is already 1 dice on the battle board, so we're just going to roll the 5. No, I'll take this one and we'll roll all 6 again. So, that is an absolutely terrible, terrible roll. Okay, pretty crappy roll. Like I said, missed out on our activation pool, which would have been good. Anyway, a couple of activations, combat pool, Blood of Kings again, and Sons of Dana, because I know that we can get that off either from this building here or from the rocky outcrop there. So, anyway, let's set up and get these activations done. And see if we can get a few more wounds on this guy before things start getting busy in the middle. Okay, a couple of quick activations. A couple of quick ones. We'll activate this unit of Hearthguard and just press these guys up. Oh, we could... Yeah, let's just move them up a little bit. I just kind of want them around here. So that's those guys. I want to activate this unit of warriors down the back to come and fill this gap. So we're sort of going to get up here, around here somewhere. Oh, there's another shield gone. These miniatures haven't been used for ages and all their shields and weapons and stuff are popping off. And as the super glue gets brittle. So that's those guys, those guys. We've got an activation here for the doggies. And we'll get into combat with this unit of warriors over there. So we'll move them into combat and then we'll get some dice ready. So I have moved these guys back because I totally forgot to do Sons of Dana, so we're going to do that now. I've spent that dice. We get 4 shots on them. There's 8 in the unit. Half of them we allocate a certain number of hits or shots based on half of the number of men in the unit, rounding up. So 4 shots. Let's have a closer look and see if we can cause some damage before the doggies charge in. So we got 4 shots on them, hitting on 4s. They have an armour of 4, so that's what we need. We get 1, 2, 3 hits. Brilliant. 3 hits on them. They save on 4s from shooting. So they save 1. 2 guys dead. Let's get the doggies in there. Okay, so our hounds have charged in. They're getting 8 dice. 6 dice for the Vikings. 1 dice apiece. There's no battle board abilities. There's no fatigue anywhere. So we're hitting on 4s. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. And the Vikings are hitting on 3s because the hounds have a reduced armour from 4 to 3. So they also get 4. So let's roll these up. Savings on 5s. 3 guys. 3 hounds down. And the Vikings save 2 and take another 3 casualties. So that's not too bad. 3 casualties apiece. The doggies didn't win, so they have to withdraw. So I'm pretty happy with that. We did some damage with the shooting, and then the doggies got in there, did some more damage. So the doggies have withdrawn, fatigue all around. Last activation is the warlord. He's going to obviously move in and fight this guy. So let's get some dice organised. Here we go, pretty simple. 5 aside. I'm going to discard my combat pool to give me another attack dice. And I'm going to use Blood of Kings so I get to shrug off 2 wounds instead of 1. So let's... this fatigue, I'll reduce his armour from 5 to 4. Oh, that might be a bad idea. I'll increase mine from 4 to 5. He'll increase his armour from 5 to 6. So the Danax brings that back down to a 5, so we're hitting on 5s. It's only 1 That's a bit of a bummer. That's not going to do nothing. And we're hitting on, what did I increase it to? I can't remember. I think it was 5s. Shit. Nothing. Nothing. Poor round of combat. That's because I can't remember what I'm doing. So anyway, so we roll this this save. Saves on a 5 or more. It doesn't save it, but gets to shrug it off anyway. So there we go. No winner. I have to withdraw. Fatigue all round. And the Vikings turn 2. Let's see what they can do. So we're still generating 6 Saga dice. Could be better. Let's allocate them out. Okay, so it's not amazing. I think it's still 2 apiece. I think that dice had tipped over. But anyway, it's still 2 apiece. A couple of activations for the Warriors. Heimdall, Frigg, Ulra. Pretty standard sort of stuff for a Viking attack. So let's set up. Let's get the activations done. And hopefully cause some more wounds on that dude. Okay. Some pretty straightforward sort of stuff happening now. Let's activate this unit of Warriors. And we just want to move them up around here. Let's get them over here. Okay, let's get them up there. We want to activate these guys and move them into the doggies, which we can do easy. So we'll get those guys in there and we'll get this melee sorted. So hopefully we can get some battle board abilities off and clean up some of those doggies. Alright, let's sort that out and we'll come back with some carnage hopefully. Okay, so our doggies outnumbered at the moment. There is a rule about outnumbering. I can't remember what it is. I'll look it up afterwards. Let's just get it done. So, battle board abilities. First thing, Frigg. I'm going to get rid of this fatigue. See ya! Secondly, Heimdall gives me an extra 3 dice. Ulra allows me to re-roll my misses. So, there we are. 6 versus 3. Hitting the doggies on 3s because of their reduced armor. And we're getting 2. And I get to re-roll. And I get 2 more. So that's 4 wounds on the doggies. They're hitting on 4s. Oh, hang on. Forgot to use their fatigue. That will reduce, since I've already made the roll, that will reduce theirs down to 3 as well. So hitting on 3s. And they get 3. Alright, might as well do the Vikings first, saving on 5s. Save 2 of them. 1 guy dies. And the doggies, saving on 5s. Saves 1 of them. 3 doggies die. So the Vikings win, and the doggies must get pushed back 4 inches. Point of fatigue for all, not too bad. Now, last but not least, before we hand over the turn to Irish turn 3, let's not be sensible and charge this guy in here. So we'll get a straight up dice. There's no battle board abilities for anyone, so it's 5 dice versus 5 dice. I'll get those sorted out, and hopefully we can wound him once or twice, which would be ambitious. So there we go, 5 and 5. I'm going to use my point of fatigue to drop his armor from 5 to 4. He's going to use his armor to drop mine from 5 to 4. I'm hitting him on 4s. On 3s because of his Dane axe reduces his armor by 1. So it was reduced to 4, now it's reduced to 3. Hitting on 3s, that's 4 hits. Not too bad. And he's hitting me on 3s because of the Dane axe. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4, 5 on 3s. There we go. So let's make these saves on 5s or more. Save 1, 2, ignore 1, take 2 wounds. And he... the Vikings aren't having a good time. Saves 3 of them, ignores the other one, doesn't take any wounds. So the Viking takes 2 wounds, it's now 4 to 2. Turn 3, Irish turn 3. Okay, so they're still getting their full complements of Saga dice. Even though they've lost a lot of doggies, it's still not a broken unit. So let's roll up their dice. Oh, it's not too bad. we'll get a couple of rolls there on our activation. We can discard one of these. Anyway, let's allocate them out. Bam, there we go. So we've got our activation pool. 2, 4, 6. So, there it is. So we'll spend that to roll these two. Okay, that's not too bad. And then Seat of Ireland, Eagle Eye, and then a couple of quick activations. I like to assign these out, these dice, and get on with the turn 3. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to work out. We want to move these guys. We want to move them forward, but we can't go within very short of this dude, or within these dudes. So that we should be able to just pile ourselves sort of in here. Right? So very short away, brilliant. That's our move with those guys. They get a round of shooting against this unit of warriors. So let's get some dice organised. Hopefully we can pick up a few of those before we shuffle a few other things around. So it's a unit of Hearthguard. They get 1 shot each, so there's 4. We're going to use some battle board abilities, and whilst there's only 4 shots, I'm going to try and do Bantered Whispers, so any 6s do 2 hits instead of 1, and Eagle Eye, so any result of a dice that's 3 counts as a 4. It was that moose that I discarded, the moose, so this benefits any dice as long as it's not a 1. So let's roll these up. We need 4s to hit these guys. Bam! So there we go. There's 3, 4 plus 1 from the 6 is 5 hits on those guys. They need 4s from shooting. Pretty sure it's 4 from shooting. Yeah, I know it's 4 from shooting. Well, I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I'm going to go with 4s. So they save 2 and take 2 wounds. 3 wounds. There we go. Okay, so that's those guys. Now we want to activate this unit of warriors. They're also armed with javelins. We want to get these guys up here. Oh, these bloody spears everywhere are so damn annoying. Okay, now we should be able to get a shot on these guys. 6 inches with their javelins. Bam. There we go. So I only think that we need a couple of people to be in range for the whole unit to fire. I'll look that up now and we'll roll some dice. So they're warriors. They get 1 shot per 2 dudes, so they get 4 shots. I'll just double check the range and then we'll kill those guys hopefully. Okay, so we've looked it up. I don't know why I thought range wasn't important, but it is. Only these 2 guys at the front are in range properly. So they only get 1 dice. Hitting on 4s. Yeah, it's a miss. So that's those guys. Let's get on with doing our warlord in the middle here. There's no other activation dice, but I know these guys are going to fight. That's their job. It's a challenge. I've specifically sort of been avoiding this area so these guys can duel. But anyway, let's get some dice sorted out for these guys and hopefully we can do a bit more damage to that Viking. It's 2-4 at the moment. Let's finish up at 2-6. Okay, pretty straightforward. 5 and 5. A side. Blood of Kings. So I can discard 2 wounds. We'll do Seat of Ireland this time. So basically I don't roll any combat dice. It just takes 4 hits. Now, my fatigue will increase my armour. So at the moment it's 5. Drop down to 4. So I'll boost it back up to 5. He'll drop it back to 4. Hitting on 4s. 4 hits. Alright, let's roll to save those 5s in melee. Saves one of them, takes 3 wounds. So he takes 3. And this guy. Can look at this shit. He takes 4, so a bit of carnage that round. So what does that finish us up at? The Irish are on 5 wounds and the Vikings on 8. Might not be such a good grudge match for the Vikings. It's not over, we'll see. So the Vikings still getting full complement of dice, even though they've sustained quite a number of casualties. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we've still got everyone on the board. Okay, so That's not too bad. Okay, let's allocate those out. See if we can recover a little bit. Okay, we're getting to the business end. 8 wounds here. Turn 3 for the Vikings. Activation pool. Let's discard that and roll these 2 dice again. Ah, crappy. That's not what I wanted. But we'll work with it and allocate those out. In the meantime, Heimdall, Frigg, Ulra, I seem to use those continuously when we've got bigger assaults going on. I must learn to use some of the other battle board. So I couldn't think of what to do. I've allocated them out to 2 warriors. So let's see. I'm not massively confident, but I guess we've got to see what the dice say, hey? Okay, I was really hoping we'd get some different dice so I could get Loki off and kill this unit here. That'd drop a unit of an order dice from them. Anyway, alright, let's activate our warriors. These guys here. And we're gonna pile in here. We can get in here. No problems. So these guys will generate some dice against these guys. Hopefully we can score a few more wounds on him. Get these guys into combat next. Move these guys up. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there's 5 warriors there. They generate 5 dice. There's 5 dice for the warlord. Now I'm not going to use any battle board abilities, but I will use his fatigue to drop his armor even further. So it is currently 4. I'm hitting on 3s now. 4 hits. Happy with that. So 4 hits on him. He's hitting the warriors on 4s. 3s because the Danaxes. Yes, a little bit of retribution. Okay, so let's save on 5s. No, we don't. So 1 Viking dies. He'll save on 5s. Holy shit, he's good at this fucking shit, isn't he? Saves 3 of them and discards the other one. He fucking well wins. All right, so they have to withdraw and fatigue all round. Okay, let's get on with the Vikings' turn. Okay, we don't need to set this back up because these guys are just going to charge straight in here. So Hearthguard versus Hearthguard. Berserkers versus their Hearthguard with the Javelin. So hopefully these guys can rocket off and do some real big damage. So the Berserkers are getting 4 attacks each. So I need to roll these dice plus another 4 because I don't have enough white dice and I don't want to use blue dice and get confused. I'm already confused enough. The Irish have 8 attacks because they're also Hearthguard. Battle board abilities. The Vikings obviously will use Heimdall. That gives us another 3 dice. So I'm just going to pop those back here just to remember that. There's no fatigue on anyone. And obviously our missed hits. So let's roll these up. We need 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus another 4. Shit, that's good. And our other 3 from Heimdall. No. Okay. That's still a big chunk. Look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8 hits on those guys. And then these guys are hitting on 3s because the Berserkers don't have very good armor. 4 hits on the Berserkers. So they'll save on 5s. Saves 3 of them. 1 of them dies. And these guys are also, the Irish are saving on 5s. And 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys die. And the Irish lose their unit. Lovely stuff. Good job. Point of fatigue for those guys, but job done. Okay, almost done with the Vikings turn 3. So we're going to activate these guys and just push them forward. Sort of somewhere to around here or so. That's their activation. Then we'll use the warlord to activate for free. He's going to charge into this guy. 5 dice apiece. 5 for him. 5 for him. He's going to use his battle board ability Frigg to get rid of this fatigue. Lovely. He's going to spend his fatigue to drop his armor the Irish guy's armour 1 point further, so it's now 3. So let's get the camera in, see if we can do a few wounds to this guy, because right now we're bleeding bad. Okay, so we're hitting on 3s. It's 4 hits, that's not too bad. And hitting on 4s. 1, 2, 3. Okay, saving on 5s. 2 saves, ignores the other one. No wounds on the Vikings. The Irish taking 4 hits, saving on 5s. Saves 2 of them, ignores 1 of them, takes a wound. Alright, so it's now 8 to the Vikings, 6 to the Irish. Irish 4th turn. So they're only generating 5 dice now. Not a fantastic roll, but we'll see what we can muster. Okay, not a lot of options. Couple of activations, some combat pool and Blood of Kings, obviously, for the combat that's going to happen in the middle. But let's set up, do our quick activations, and then see if we can kill this guy. On 8 wounds, we need to do 4 more. Don't know if we can do it this turn, but let's see what we can at least get done. Okay, we need to activate these guys. We're going to have to get them in there. So 6 inches up to around here. Or so, that's their activation. We're going to activate this unit of warriors. Sort of just want to shuffle these guys over a little bit, just to sort of screen this a little bit more. Let's just shuffle them a bit further. There we go, so that'll do. And then we'll have some shots on these Vikings here. So there'll be 4 shots from these guys into the Berserkers with armor 3. So let's see what we get. So 4 shots on them, hitting on 3s. 1, 2, 3, and a miss. So 3 hits on them. They save on a 4 or more from shooting. Save 2. 1 of them dies. No, that's okay. It's not too bad. At least we killed 1 of them at least. Not much you can do from shooting. And then this combat here. Charge these guys in. He's going to get his 5 dice. 5 for him. 2 dice for his combat pool. Plus the Blood of Kings allows him to ignore 2 wounds instead of 1. So it will be 7 dice versus the 5. So fatigue, I will spend his fatigue to drop his armor from 5 to 4. He will spend my fatigue to drop my armor from 4 to 3. So I'm hitting on 4s. That's not too bad. 5. He's hitting on 3s. Of course. So saving on 5s. The Irish takes 1 wound. And the Vikings saving on 5s. Oh, hang on. He gets to ignore this wound. And any subsequent ones. I forgot about that. Okay, so he saves those 2, ignores this one, takes 2 wounds. Alright, so 6-10. End of the Irish 4th turn. Right, so the ebb and flow. I thought the Vikings might be coming back for a minute then, but they're 2 wounds away from defeat. It's not been a successful grudge match for the Irish, for the Vikings. Okay, so they still get their full 6 dice. Okay, we can do something with that. Let's allocate them out and hopefully cause some carnage. Okay, let's start with our activation pool. I'm really hoping for another S, which we don't get. Okay, so we'll have to allocate those out and then do a little bit of chopping. We'll see. We'll see. I forgot to allocate some fatigue out here before when I killed that unit of Irish Hearthguard. Anyway, let's activate these guys and push them in. What do we got there? That's alright, yep, let's just get these guys in there, that's no problems, so we'll get these guys in there. Take your fatigue with you, they're getting 8 dice versus the Irish 8 dice. There we go. I'm going to spend my fatigue, no, the Irish will spend my, battle board. Am I going to use any battle board abilities? We could, just for the sake of what we're doing, no. Alright, bugger it. So the Irish will use it to reduce my armour to 2. That kind of makes sense. So we're hitting on 4s. It's a pretty shitty roll. We only got 2. They're hitting on 2s. And got heaps. Saving on 5s. Oh, they've fucking done it. Can you see that roll? One guy dies. Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch. This camera, sorry about that. So only one guy dies. Wow, that's alright. And then these guys saving on 5s. And they both save, so I lose, have to withdraw. Look, it wasn't disastrous. I didn't do any damage, but again, I didn't die from a massive number of hits. Okay, that's okay. Alright, let's get that done. So that's him. The other activation, this one here, the warlord's going to activate. He's going to use side by side to charge this guy. So he'll get in there. That's his fatigue. So the Irish, the Vikings, 5 for him, 4 for these guys. He's generating 5 dice for the Irish. What else? Okay, let's get closer and talk about some battle board abilities, and hopefully we can do some big damage to him. Okay, so the scenario so far, as we've just been through, let's get 3 more attack dice. 3 more. Let's get 2 more attack dice, which we can't get, so I'm just going to put those 2 blue ones there to remind me. The warlord will roll his missed hits, and I'll get rid of the fatigue off the warlord. So that's his fatigue gone. Great. I will use his fatigue to increase the armour of my warlord from 5 to 6. He will use the fatigue on these guys to increase his armour from 5 to 6. Now, he is going to attack the warlord. Yep. So, hitting on 5s because of the Danax. 2 hits on the warlord. Okay, so the warlord is now hitting on 6s, was it? Did he increase it to 6? Jeez, I can't remember. Yeah, but it's dropped by 1 because of his Danax, so 5. Jeez, that's alright. Reroll my misses. Nope. I get 3 extra combat dice. Score 2 more. The warriors, they score 1 more. Alright, so here we go. The Viking warlord's taking 2 wounds, saves on 5s. Saves one of them, discards the other, ignores it. The Irish warlord, saving on 5s, saves 1, 2, 3, ignores 1, takes 2 wounds, and it's now 10 versus 8. That's the end of the Vikings' 4th turn. So we're getting to the business end now. It's turn 5. Still getting 5 dice for the Irish. Okay, there we go. Let's allocate those. So here we go, Irish 5th turn. So Blood of Kings, obviously. Activation pool, which we'll do in a minute. A couple of activations. And the old ways. So let's use this activation pool to roll 2 more dice. Ah, very nice. Okay, so let's put these on Seat of Ireland and see if our strategy will work and we can end the game now. Okay, I'm going to start by activating these guys. Just in case shit doesn't work out now, I don't want these guys milling around there to get wiped out. I'm just going to bring them behind at the back here, so I still get my Saga dice. Unless the Vikings manage to get Loki off and kill them anyway. But that hasn't happened the whole game, so we need to get these guys in. Let's activate these Hearthguard and get them in here. So these guys have Dane Axes. I'm not 100% sure about this. I think these guys were too close before when they came in because of that very short rule. So I've tried to keep this guy very short away. He still gets to fight in combat though because he's engaged, close enough to friends that are engaged. So there we go. So he's getting, at the moment, 5 dice for the Vikings, 8 dice for me. Let's get the camera down and have a look at some battle board abilities, see if we can change this a little bit. Right, so Vikings. No, Irish. We're doing the Irish. The old ways. So we're going to use this one, right? So basically this means that, I'll read it real quick. Any unit in this unit that has more attack dice than twice the number of models in its unit must discard any attack dice that exceed that threshold. So I've got 4 Hearthguard. They can have up to 8 dice. He's only got 1 warlord, so he can only have up to 2 dice. Now I'm also going to spend his fatigue to drop his armor from 5 down to 4. My Dane Axe is reduced that to 3, so we're hitting on 3s. Oh, look at this. 6 hits. Lovely. And he's hitting on 5s. So 2 hits, so let's roll these ones up, saving on 5s. 2 guys die. He'd actually be hitting on 4s because of the reduced armor. Anyway, it wouldn't have made a difference. Now he's saving on 5s. Saves 1, saves 2, ignores 1, takes 3 wounds, and that takes him up to 13 wounds and kills him. It's another Irish victory. I saw it coming, but then it changed. Alright, that's it. End of game. Well, shit, there we go. So the Irish have done it again. I know I made some mistakes in that game and I forgot a couple of things, and I haven't played a lot of Saga. To be honest, I haven't played a lot of Saga. I do enjoy playing it, but I don't think that I play it the way that it's supposed to be played. I have some very specific go all out. I use a very few specific things on the battle board, and I'm sure if I played someone who actually is more familiar with Saga, I'd get schooled. But I enjoyed that game. Another defeat for the Vikings. Very specific scenario. Like I did mention during the game, I wanted to keep that battle in the middle sort of separate, sort of until it started to get towards the end where it was sort of, okay, we need to take out this dude because our Irish warlord is taking a little bit too many wounds now. So anyway, it was good fun. If you live in Melbourne and you want to come and play me, it'd be great fun to play some Saga against other people. Now, I do know some of my friends who are keen to play. It's just a matter of organising time with them also. But if you're keen, I live in the north of Melbourne. Hit me up, send me a message, jump on my Facebook page, Rubbish in, Rubbish out, or hit me up on Knights of Dice or wherever. There's links in the description, and we can have a couple of games and maybe I'll learn a few extra things and actually play some Saga the way that perhaps it's supposed to be played than the way that I think it's supposed to be played. Anyway, there we go. Grudge match done. Another loss for the Vikings, and the Irish walk away cheering. Time for some Guinness. I'm going to go find some beer. See ya.